minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the Rocket Hour. Y'all are now tuned in. Time to hit the pick four that you'd love to win. If your money's coming slow, step on the faster track with your host, Ricky Pasternak. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Rocket Hour. We got something special going today. You can see the person to my right. That's Mike Somich. What's up, Somich?
What's going on, guys? I'm excited, man. We were joking after the show. I think it was like last Tuesday or Wednesday about doing this, and I had a lot of fun, man. So I'm looking forward to this new segment. I'll let you spoil it later, so I don't spoil it now. But I'm excited about today. It's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah, you really want to tune in and keep tuning in because we're going to do over-under jockey totals for the week at Saratoga. Ricky and I have made our picks. Somich set the over-unders and set the lines. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to do a little bit different than what we normally do. Usually it's an hour of just recapping Saratoga. We're going to crunch all that into 10 minutes, and then we're going to do our fun jockey game. You kind of look forward to the Travers. Let's get right into it, though. And Ricky, down there at the bottom, I don't feel like you're at the bottom, but you are on the screen. But you're not in the bottom of my heart, Ricky. So we'll kick it off with you. Tell us what you thought about technical analysis first, and then Malathot second.
Yeah. We'll start. We'll go in order. Technical analysis. I didn't think she would be this short of a price, to be quite honest. Let me backtrack. I was hoping she wasn't going to be this short of a price. Let's start there. Unfortunately, she was. I really thought she got a dream trip on July 23rd. We talked about that stakes race, in terms of the Lake George. I thought the Lake George field was better, to be honest, than this field, even though it was a grade 3 versus a grade 2. And I kind of just thought that we can – I think, what was she, like maybe 12-1 on that day? And there were a lot of Chad Brown runners in there. There's a horse, Manown, who's going to be running again maybe Friday or something, or Thursday, whatever. But there were a lot of Chad Brown runners, and that was the one I didn't really like too much. And I thought we were going to have this horse way too short of a price, and she clearly just was much better. So I was wrong and right. I'll be willing to admit I thought she was beatable, but she wasn't. I mean, she was just clearly so much better. And the odds were proper. Even money was, exactly where she was supposed to be. I don't think there's too much to add. Again, this field was significantly weaker than what I thought she faced in the Lake George. So you get an A+ for who you beat, how you do it. But I do think that if she moves up to a grade 1 down the road, she'll be tested, and I won't want to use her at a short price again.
Yeah, it was a really good performance, I thought, as well. And one I wasn't real surprised with. I thought that horse just looked pretty unbeatable. Somich, what do you think of technical analysis? And then you can get into Malathot a little bit.
Yeah, I thought technical analysis was actually really impressive. I agree with you guys. The field was pretty weak. I mean, all you need to know or all you need to look at is the fact that your second choice was a 3-1 maiden in this race. Definitely a buzz horse, but then the horse missed the break in its first start and rallied up and just missed. But look, I mean, when you look at technical analysis at this point, lost 2 back to Conlima and Plum Ali. There's absolutely no shame in that. Was able to run a very good race there in the Lake George and get the job done. Yes, the trip was good, but the horse kind of blew that field away. I mean, a length and a quarter for a mile on New York's turf is pretty impressive. And then what I really liked about this win from technical analysis was whenever we've had water in the track, whenever it got soft or yielding at Saratoga, on the lead was a death sentence. And technical analysis was able to go to the lead. And I thought it was interesting. A lot of people were saying technical analysis blew the turn. I think the plan was to be in the 3 or 4 path. The rail has been dead when there's been water on it on the turf. So I think this is a pretty impressive race just from showing a new dimension and being able to do something that no one else was able to do all weekend, which is wire a field on the turf at Saratoga.
Yeah, it was pretty apparent to me they wanted to keep that horse wide. And I think what would have happened if that horse would have been on the rail and then made the turn, she would have been 3-4 wide. And I don't think anybody really would have thought of it. But when you start 5 or 6 wide and then you float out, say, in the 8 path, all of a sudden you're like, oh, God, this could be bad. So, man, I agree. I love a horse with versatility on the turf. That's what technical analysis has shown. So that's great. And you're right. I mean, when the turf's been wet, it's been hard to stay on the lead. It wasn't for her. She did a really nice job. Malathot, Ricky, you know what? You've been wrong on Malathot a lot this year, but honestly, I kind of feel like in the grand scheme of things, you are right. I don't think she's great. I just think she's just better than this class. Kind of speak on Malathot and what you thought of her race.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that because I continue to be wrong. But when you, that comment is.
He's trying to cover up your face, so it didn't work. Go ahead.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, I think I'm still right. Like when you break it down race by race, I'm continuously wrong, or I continue to be wrong, however you want to say it. But when you look at her, I still want to fade her at a short price every time. And if she goes to face older females, it's gonna be a long day. Like Essential Quality doing it, I think he could hold his own water / win the race, depending on how things go. I mean, Nick Sco's probably still the horse to beat at this point. Another conversation for another time. But if Malathot were to go face Latruska, or She Dares the Devil, or even Swiss Skydiver maybe, I'm not so sure she's going to fare so well. And again, what is this group beating? What did she beat? We saw her beat Clairiere already. I gave Crazy Beautiful a shot. Shouldn't have. I mean, we know what they all are. At least in this race. Maybe I think if she were to face Search Results again, she'd still be in trouble. But even she already proved that she could beat her. So at this level, what is she facing? I don't know. I guess you have to continue to use her, but her price is so short these days. There's still other value to me on other horses when I don't think she's as good as what her price indicates. As opposed to technical analysis, she is as good as she was at even money. Malathot, on the other hand, at even money, I don't believe she's as good as what that price would indicate.
Yeah, I don't know. I just at the end of the day, it's like it's another win, and she didn't look bad, that's for sure. But it's just like, it's just kind of workmanlike effort. That's just how she looks. So, how much do you think there's more in the tank with Malathot, or you think she's kind of gonna be up against it at the Breeders' Cup?
Well, first off, I think the answer is yes and yes. I think she is going to be up against the Breeders' Cup. But I do think there's more in the tank. I mean, when you look back at this, if you take out the one buyer from Maracuja, which she ran a 97 and somehow beat her in the CCA Oaks, which I think was kind of a fluky result based on how the race was run. No one else has run. She's got the next 4 or 5 top buyers from this field. And outside of Search Results, the 4 or 5 top buyers from the entire 3-year-old filly class. I think that at even money, she's actually a pretty solid bet against 3-year-old fillies if Search Results isn't in the race. Mm-hmm. I think that she's going to be overbet at the Breeders' Cup. I'll agree with you there. But I do think that she is. It's interesting. You see like her time 4 numbers. She's 97 early, 98 late. It's just a fast plotter. I mean, that's what she is. And so when you get like a 1.25 miles, she doesn't blow anyone away. She's not winning like you want to see a 2-5 or 3-5 win because you're always nervous. But man, when she straightens out, she's dangerous, and she's going to be closer to the pace at Del Mar, which is going to be beneficial there. We don't know if she likes the track or not. Obviously, something we got to be concerned about, but I would be surprised if she doesn't hit the board against the older fillies, but I would be surprised if she won.
I think that's a pretty good way to sum it up. I think you're right. She is kind of a fast grinder is kind of a weird term, but that's kind of what she is, right? She can just kind of chunk out the fractions. She's almost like a Tiz magician in a way, where they just kind of run the same speed all the way around the track, and they run fairly fast, but they just don't have that next gear to go really explode in that stretch. But she did what she's supposed to do. She leveled out and she got the job done. So give her credit for that. Easy 3-year-old of the year for the fillies, and there's no question on that. All right, quickly, because I said we were spending 5 minutes on it. We spent 9 minutes on it. So let's quickly go to the trainer standings. I'm not going to pull it up because there's only 3 that really matter right now as far as winning this thing. Mike Maker with 24 wins. Chad Brown with 23, Todd Pletcher with 22. Ricky, who's winning this thing?
I'm going to go with Todd Pletcher at the moment. It seems like his barn is getting hotter and hotter. I know I don't think Mike Maker just has enough horses. I don't think it's a matter of his horses running well. I just think his horse, he just doesn't have enough stable. And I'm sure he has enough horses around the country. They're just not all located here. And he doesn't point to the meet. the fact that he's even gone this long and we're approaching week 6, going, with 2 weeks left, really, and that he's on top is pretty incredible. But he seems like that sprinter that you just know is going to wear down. We always talk about jockey trainer combinations. We didn't really know where Luis Saez was going to fit, because not only does he not have the true one trainer connection like Ricardo does, Irad does, Jose even does. So it's kind of interesting to see that he's not only gotten all the Mike Maker horses, and we'll talk about the jockeys in a little bit, but I think Pletcher is going to have some 2-year. I think we're going to look at his 2-year-olds and say this is what won, first-time starters or maybe second time out, as opposed to Chad Brown that, I'll be honest, his debutants on the dirt have struggled. And I think we're about to see, we haven't gotten the Travers card yet, but whatever maiden special weight races pop up on Travers Day, I'm pretty sure Todd Pletcher will have a few that may or may not enter into that wit conversation down the road later in the year. So that's kind of where I'm pointing to. I'll go with Todd Pletcher for the last couple of weeks here.
See, I was hoping to be contrarian, but I agree with Ricky here. And I actually agree with the reasoning too. If you look at last weekend, 2 of Brown's quote-unquote best horses, as 2-year-olds debuted and ran 4th and 7th, I think it was. Asmussen has shot his load at the 2-year-old level, where every Buzz Asmussen horse has already run now at the meet. And Pletcher keeps putting out these 2-year-olds that are winning races. You get 2 or 3 of them on every card at Saratoga. If Pletcher keeps winning one a day, he's going to be dangerous, because he is going to win some of the grass races. He's going to win some of the stake races. I realize that Chad Brown is going to win a couple of the turf races, and I really think it's between Brown and Pletcher. But I think Pletcher has a distinct advantage at the 2-year-old level on turf and dirt. And I think because of that, he's the one that should be the favorite right now. But I would say it's Pletcher, Brown, and then Maker.
I'm going to go out and say Chad Brown's going to win by 4 races.
Oh, okay. What do you want? Plus 3.5.
Well, give me plus 300 for taking the over on 3.5 wins, and I'll take it.
You're already up 1 though.
150.
No, 250.
No, 200. What's the difference?
Nope, 250. Final offer.
You are getting plus 3.5.
I'm not taking the bet. This is between you two. I'm being the moderator and putting out a prospective price.
I think you're going to see 2 weeks of decent weather. This week looks really good. We survived. The hurricane did not hit. Obviously, the hurricane wouldn't hit it, but the rain did not hit Saratoga. I think if we get 2 decent weeks of weather with horses on the turf, Brown is gonna power pass. That's my thought.
Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll offer. All right, with Breeders' Cup this year, we're headed back to Del Mar, right? We're all going to be there. Early pick 5 on Friday.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The winner puts in $50, the loser puts in $100, and the winner gets to bet the ticket, $150. You can have plus 3.5 for the trainer, or minus Chad Brown minus 3.5. I get everyone else plus 3.5.
I think that's great, because even if I lose, I win, and that's how I feel.
We're splitting a ticket either way, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, I feel great. I feel great about that, even though it's not perfect. I think it's great. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go plus 3.5 Chad, or excuse me, minus 3.5 Chad Brown. All right, let's lead us right into the jockeys and what we're going to do today. Like I said, Ricky and I are going to take over-unders on total wins for jockeys this week, Wednesday through Sunday at Saratoga. Samich nice enough to set the lines for us, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to give our picks now for what we're going to think jockeys win totals for this week at Saratoga. Remember, it's just this week, Wednesday through Sunday. I'm pumped. Ricky and I have looked through this. We have 5 bets. Samich has informed me that we don't have any the same, so that is really, really fun. Let's do it. Let's play the game.
Yes, this is an idea that was born out of these 2 guys bitching about certain jockeys and just talking up certain jockeys, and so I thought it was a good idea to actually test them over a weekend. The numbers are set off of how jockeys have performed so far at the meets, and we got a nice little wager here. If Aaron wins, Ricky can only say 15 words per horse on next Wednesday's Pick 4 show, and if if Ricky wins, Aaron can't wear an undershirt for a week on the show, which apparently is a big deal for both of them for some reason.
There's a stipulation. Add the stipulation if he does it by accident.
If he accidentally wears one, he has to do it for a month after that. So
Sure.
don't accidentally wear one. I'll remind you if you need to. Don't worry. We'll work
Such
through
a
it.
dumb stipulation. Like I would forget 3 days not to wear one or to wear one.
Well, yeah, no, you got to do it 4 days. Tuesday through Friday.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right.
All right, so here we go. We got the under-over totals on the board set for each of the jockeys. Again, this is from 8:25 to 8:29, so it includes Travers Weekend and New York Stakes Day on Friday. For the first, well, we didn't do first pick, so we each of them sent me 5 picks before the show, so they could have the same choice. They could have different choices. If you want to play as well, go ahead and throw out your 5 that you would take from this list. So let's kick it off here with Ricky. You want to go for your first play?
Yeah, for the record, this is not real. No one put this out. This is all a joke. Like, don't go on somewhere saying that we're doing this. We're not trying to make this real bets. We're just going to throw that out there. Yeah, so anyone who's watched the show knows I was going to get Jose Lezcano involved somewhere. I think when it comes to turf race, and this is not in order, by the way, of like confidence, just throwing that out there as well. One of the strategies that I try to use is to find as much plus money that I thought made sense as possible. Because if you were to play if you guys are looking, you guys were to play all the minus odds, if you go 3 and 2, depending on where you went, you might only break even or make a little bit. So that was one of the strategies I used as well. A lot of turf racing at Saratoga, and Jose Lezcano seems to get these bumps up. And for whatever reason, Lezcano also seems to get horses that maybe not so good on the turf, but once the race comes off, goes to the dirt, a lot of the main turfers come out. All of a sudden, his horses look a little bit better. And he really, when you break this down 3.5 over 5 days, it's like, 0.8 wins a day? I think he's more than capable. Aaron and I have talked about it every Tuesday, I think, since the meet started, how well he's riding. So if you're asking me, I would even have taken it at 4.5. I only got 3.5 because that's what the average is. I'm more than happy to take it. I think that's a good start, and I'm getting plus money.
Yeah, so it's funny. The average is actually 3.1 for a weekend for him. So it's a little bit over his total, but we knew you had a man crush on Lezcano, so we made you pay a little bit extra to take him. All right, let's head over to Aaron for his first pick on his team.
Listen, the book knows who's betting, right? So they know who to take advantage of. And immediately they took advantage of Ricky on that one. Listen, I think we're going to get tired of hearing this guy's name this week. I really think Irad Ortiz Jr. ready for a big time week. If you know what, sometimes when you give a perfect ride, like the Queen's Plate on Sunday that he did, won that race, it almost kind of jumpstarts you and it gets that confidence going. Oh, by the way, I looked at Wednesday's card. I think he might get like halfway to this total on Wednesday. He's on favorites that just look like they can't lose. Now, of course, this is Saratoga. I'm sure a couple of them will lose. I just think he's going to have a big week. 13 races on Saturday. He's going to be lined up with a few horses. Irad Ortiz over 9.5. And listen, I love that I'm getting plus 100 here. It's even better. So give me Irad for my first one.
He was one of the tougher ones to the line. He's 8.2. So he's over a win over, but we have big stakes cards, which I think favors Irad Ortiz. And so he's going to have some pretty live mounts all weekend. Over 9.5. Not a terrible play there. All right, back to Ricky. Ricky, your second choice here?
Yeah, I actually think Manny Franco's gone a little bit better. What?
Manny?
Well, there are 5 last races of the day, and we know how Franco fares in those.
Yeah, I only need him to win 2.5. These are low totals. Again, this is going. We've got to take this into account. Mike went on the average, which that's the way you would set the line. You don't mind you could have looked at Friday's card. That's out. You don't know what Saturdays and Sundays is outside of possibles, and then if that rider's going to ride. That's the best info you have. Manny's actually been a lot better over the last week or so. So that's one of the things you got to factor in. Are these riders potentially running better than their averages? Again, when you have some of the other riders, the David Cohen, Benji Hernandez, it's a limited amount, and that's what it is all meet. But Manny's actually riding better over the last few days or so. Well, they're not running today and yesterday, but over the last week or so that I think more than his average. So if he gets hot, he's capable of 2 in a day. if he does get 2 in one day, I would have to like that price, no matter, unless that 2 in a day comes on a Sunday. But even on a Saturday, he can't win 1 on Sunday. And again, there's the plus money factor. Again, you got plus money as well on your first pick, and that's what I think. And I just like the way he's been riding lately. Again, not a good meet overall, but if I'm just going off recent, and I like the way he's been getting a little bit better. I thought he had a few nice rides on Sunday as well.
I like this play, actually. He's won 13 races in 5 weeks, so the over is slightly skewed up there. And he's got a favorite on Thursday. He's actually got 2 favorites in the first 2 cards. So if he can get one of those home, it's looking good for the weekend. The problem with him is the stakes races are a little tough. So it would be tough for him to get a win on Saturday. But if he can get 1 win on Wednesday or Thursday, that one's looking pretty good. Let's head back over to Aaron's team. And this one, he's got some splaining to do. Let's hear why you took the bell curve.
I did it just for that reason right there. I just wanted your reaction. That's 100% the truth. Okay, that's not 100% the truth. I'm lying a bit. This guy usually wins races on big days. He finds a way to get it done. I think he'll win 2 or 3 on Saturday, and I think he'll win enough these rest of these days to get the job done. I also, again, it's a weather factor for me. I think he's a very good turf rider from off the pace, and I think if we get all those races on the turf, I think he will be tough to hold down. So, yeah, Rosario over 6.5. Half because I actually think he's going to do it, and half because I wanted to piss Samich off. So, listen, Rosario on the big days, he usually does pretty well. So I'm betting on him to have a big Saturday.
And he actually moved up from 5.5 to 6.5 over the weekend. His line jumped up because he had such a big weekend last weekend too. He would have crushed 5.5. And I think if this was 5.5, you both would have taken the over. So the book had to move it up a little bit to see if we could retain an edge. Let's head back down to Ricky here. Ricky, third pick, your boy.
Yeah, I had to put a lot of juice into this one, minus 150. So this is the opposite of Lezcano. I think a lot of people would put Dylan Davis and Lezcano pretty much like head-to-head overall. Maybe, an objective person would say Jose Lezcano is a little bit better. I think we can pretty much – like Lezcano's going to have long shots in stake races Saturday. I'm pretty sure Dylan Davis won't have mounts. So that, to me – like, remind you, Friday, New York Stallion Stake Series Day, whatever the heck they call it. So is it possible that he doesn't get mounts there either? I'm going to get to an overall theme that I want to ask you guys after, so I'm not going to bring that point up now. I'm kind of looking at Dylan Davis, and I'm asking myself, can he win one Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday? Because I have no idea what he's going to be getting on Friday. I haven't looked at the card, and again, Saturday's not out. Haven't looked at it entirely for Friday, but based on the magnitude of both days, there's a fair chance he doesn't get any. Like not any mounts at all. Like maybe 3 those 2 days. So, and if he does, let's be realistic, they're going to be like 20 to 1s or higher. So I'm asking myself, can he win 1 a day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? And Mike, to your point about Manny on Thursday, Manny on Wednesday and Thursday, it's like, all right, well, there I'm making my piece. I have to split it apart somewhere. So if I'm going with one of those mid-tier jockeys, I'm going to go with Jose and Manny and put Dylan up in the underboat here.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head why this is set at 2.5. It's number of mounts. Pretty crazy. You just took Manny over 3.5, 13 wins. Dylan Davis, 14 wins so far at the meet. So 1 more than Manny. And Manny's ridden 170 horses. Dylan Davis just 118. So 12% win percentage versus 8%. But again, the mounts is the issue. That's why you're seeing Davis here at 2.5. He also slowed down a little bit. He was much hotter early in the meet. All right, over to Aaron. Pretty surprised with this pick. Tell me about why you're fading Asmussen.
Well, listen, it was hard for me to fade my boy Santana. I'm not fading Asmussen. Hard for me to fade my boy Santana. Here's the deal. Like, okay, you got a Jackie's Warrior. Well, Rosario's on Jackie's Warrior, so I don't think he's getting the best Asmussen horses this week. To me, this is a Santana's going to struggle week, so to speak, because New York breds on Friday. Well, he doesn't really have those connections of a lot of those New York trainers that have horses. Saturday, it's really not a Ricardo Santana day at Saratoga. If this was Oaklawn on a big Saturday, I'm taking the over, and he's probably set a lot higher, like 9.5 instead of 5.5. I just don't think this is the week that Santana has a lot of success at Saratoga. He does better on the kind of the quote unquote off weeks. It's scary. I think he'll get close to that, but I think he's going to be under 5.5.
I think this is going to be one of the close ones. Yalpine is running or supposedly running, and that one's one of those that you'd expect a win from it. But that still means he needs to get 4.5 more wins or win a day outside of that. And like you said, I think Friday is going to be the toughest day for him. So
yep.
Be interesting to see what he does there. Now let's move on to the only head-to-head battle we have. No one picked the same, but we do have opposites. Ricky, why are you fading Johnny V?
So Saturday, first of all, Johnny V doesn't get nearly the amount of mounts that he probably should. And maybe it's like the Mike Smith factor, right? He's like, I'm going to be very selective on what he's not getting on 16,000 claimers anymore. He doesn't have to. He's made more than enough money and clearly a Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it. So that factored in. The other thing is the plus money. I know either whatever mounts he gets on, they're going to be pretty good horses for the most part. But one of the things that I wanted to factor in, and Aaron brought this up, he's been getting a lot of good mounts for Wesley Ward, a lot. And I don't know how much Wesley Ward is going to be putting out there this week. Like if there was, his thing is turf sprinters for Wesley Ward. You kind of know that if Johnny's getting aboard one of those, they've got a good shot or they're going to run well. I haven't looked, but I don't think this is, first of all, Wesley Ward's not going to have many New York bred stakes runners on Friday. He's not here. And then Saturday, it's not really, I haven't looked entirely, but it's not really those turf sprints that, those shorter races that we're looking for. That's the theme, right? Again, you don't really know more or less, but that's kind of where I went. It's interesting. He does get Pletcher mount still, and Pletcher Mike and I both picked to win the trainer standings, but it's not like he used to only give his horses to Johnny V. That's not the case anymore. He's giving them to Jose, giving them to Irad, Luis here and there. So with that being said, I just think there's a lot going against Johnny V, and I'll take that price as well, which is even money. I don't have to give any juice to that one. So I thought that made a little sense.
I don't hate it, but I'd like to hear the rebuttal.
Well, here's the deal. Gamine is coming in. That should be one win right there. So then it goes to 2.5. Johnny V has been very, very hot the last week or two. Everybody kind of wrote him off. Hell, he's shooting up the standings. He's back into the top 10 now. I did some handicapping of the races on Thursday and Friday. I think Johnny V's got a particularly strong hand Thursday. And then it's not bad on Friday either. He's got a couple for Todd Pletcher that I think should win in those 2 days as well. He's got a couple of mounts for Wesley Ward in those 2 days as well. I honestly think Gamine wins the race on Saturday and he'll already have the over. I think he's going to win 4-5, honestly. And I don't like the minus 120. That was the only thing that I kind of took a pause on, but I just think Johnny V is just a real steady hand, and he's got a lot of old New York connections with these trainers. I think New York Stakes Day, he's going to win a couple. Give me Johnny V 3.5. I think he gets the job done.
This was one of the toughest ones to line, so it's interesting that you each took one side or the other. He was at 6 going into last week, and his line was 1.5. He won 6 races last week. And so his line jumped up to it should be probably 2.5, but the Gamine factor, I assumed that was a win. So I pushed it up to 3.5 and juiced the over because I kind of, if I like Pletcher and he's getting good 2-year-old mounts, I think 3.5 is going to be a tough number. I agree he should go over, but man, if we start raining off the turf, I think he could be in trouble there. So it'll be interesting to see what Johnny V does. He was the toughest one to line because of how hot he was last weekend and how much he struggled earlier in the meet.
I just think you take the hot jockey in this situation, and everybody was ready to write the guy off. And I said on the show, sometimes you get up here to this meet and you're not really riding bad, or maybe if you're a trainer, you're not really training bad, so to speak. It's really hard to win races up here, and he just kind of got into a little bit of a slump. He certainly worked his way out of it, and like I said, I think to Ricky's point, to wrap it up, the Ward factor is not going to be as strong, and I think that's the biggest question mark. But he does have a couple for him, and he still lingers around and gets those good Pletcher mounts here and there. So I think that's going to push him through.
Speaking of hot riders, Ricky, going with the meet leader for the weekend. You have Essential Quality, which got to make you feel better, makes it feel like more than like an 8.5. Why'd you take Saez here?
Well, This just kind of seems to be one of those, for me, like he's having, honestly, the meat of his life. I think if you asked him, like, you just kind of go with the hot guy. Like, it could have been Jose Ortiz, where if just replace Saez with Ortiz, or even if this was Junior Alvarado having the meat of his, like, it's just like the magic seems to be there with Luis this meet. If we go back, think about, it's kind of scary. Think about where he was just a few years ago with maximum security. Then he missed multiple weeks last year with COVID. Things kind of seem to be rounding in form. And now we've got a new jockey agent. We've talked about that before. Again, I didn't even factor in essential quality because, to be honest, whatever he gets on is now a short price. He has officially taken the Irad Ortiz Award. Whatever he gets on is now a short price. And I brought this up to Aaron multiple weeks ago, not after the first week, but second or third. He's getting these catch mounts. These trainers that only bring up, 3, 4, 5 a meet, he's getting those. These Mid-Atlantic trainers, these maybe Midwest from Indiana Grand trainers, or if there's a Gulfstream horse that's decent, he's getting those. Irad, Jose, they're not. Good luck playing against Luis Saez. I couldn't imagine anyone taking the under. Maybe you don't take the over, but I sure as heck don't see anyone taking this under. And I know Aaron didn't go that way as well. So.
Yeah, 49 wins in 5 weeks, so the total is right where it should be from a number perspective. I think it's interesting. We're seeing the benefit of not having a go-to trainer for the first time ever at this type of meet. Like normally, being Irad and having all of Brown's best horses is a huge advantage because Brown wins the training meet. When you have it this close and Saez gets good mounts from Pletcher and he's able to get a lot of good maker mounts, he gets those good pickup mounts like you mentioned, and he's willing to ride at every level. I think that really has helped him excel here this meet. And I would agree with you. I would take the over here, or I would completely pass on it. Final pick of the meet here. I was really happy that someone took the stab because Aaron's going for the W with just this one pick here. Aaron, tell me about why you're going with your boy Diodoro.
Listen, Diodoro's going to juice one up and win. It's going to happen, right? Think about Whitney Day when Diodoro wins with that 38-1 horse, and we're all looking at each other with our dicks in our hand going, what the hell happened there? We're just out of everything all of a sudden. That horse just won by 10. My boy, David Cohen, will win one this week. I am confident of it. And this is my home run play. He wins, and you're beat, Ricky. You're done. There's nothing you can do. You're out of the game. David Cohen going to bring this home for me. He wins one, no question.
Now, the beauty of this is before the show, I asked Aaron, how many wins does he have at the meet? And Aaron goes, like 6 or 7. He's got 3. He's got 3. So it's and that's not like a limited amount of mounts. That's in 48 mounts. He's currently hitting it around 6% for the meet, only 16% in the money. So he's going to need to pick up a couple mounts and get some Diodoro magic to be able to make it happen. But it would completely shut it out. I'm proud of you guys for no one taking the minus 7,050 or plus. Like, I appreciate that no one went for the hardcore chalk. And funny enough, we have one race on Thursday where Hernandez, Samuel, and Ricky's boy Herman Harkey are all in the race, and it's a 6-horse field. So you have half of the field is those 3 jockeys that could kind of get something done. So I appreciate you guys playing along here. Ricky, you want to go over your team real quickly here, and then Aaron, you can do the same.
Yeah, so Jose Lascano plus 3.5, over 3.5 plus money. Manny Franco, I believe, plus money as well. Again, I try to keep that as the theme. Dylan Davis under 2.5 minus 150, more so because I just don't know how many mounts he's going to be getting, and he's trending the wrong way. A lot of riders seem to be trending the right way. He seems to be trending the wrong way. John Velasquez, one of the riders trending the right way. We'll see what type of mounts. He was one of the toughest ones for me. And then Luis Saez, not over 9.5. Like, I mean, everything he seems to be getting on is live. Even the horses that look like they're 16,000 claimers, they're in New York bred allowance races and they're running well / winning. So I don't really know what the situation is, but the biggest theme, I think this is interesting, right? Flavien Prat is going to be there Friday and Saturday. I want to see what he factors into. That's one of the reasons I try to stay away from some of the bigger riders, and I'll bring this point up. It's not just Flavien Prat. I'm sure there'll be a few more on Saturday that we don't see maybe normally taking some mounts. All of my riders, outside of Saez, who's kind of in a class of his own right now, is at Saratoga. their numbers aren't affected. And what I mean by that is I'm not expecting them to go win on Friday and Saturday. Like that's where I try to make a lot of my picks. I'm looking at them more of like Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday guys. So Flavien Prat shouldn't affect it like, more Aaron's, the higher, more profile riders, not David Cohen. I think if he gets David Cohen, I literally, I lost.
Yes,
I
correct.
So that was interesting. But Aaron definitely wants more high profile guys. Again, John Velasquez, and some of the other ones, Irad as well, Joel, Ricardo. So we're going to see if what happens if there are other riders that do come in. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Again, I'm not dependent on a Flavien Prat or other guys coming in. Aaron might be a little bit more, even though his riders as a talent group, much more talented than mine, much better than mine.
Yeah, I would agree with you that Pratt's not going to take any mounts away from Loscano or Franco, and so that's definitely a positive. Pratt, by the way, has ridden 8 races at Saratoga. How many has he won? 3, the same as David Cohen. And he's got 2 second places as well. So he's been first or second 5 of the 8 mounts he's had. So he's riding live horses. All right, Aaron, on to you. Give us a quick recap of your team here.
Well, I went with Irad. I just think he's going to have a huge, huge week. I think if there's one guy that can cut into that margin that Saez has created in the jockey title standings right now, it is Irad Ortiz. So I think he's going to have a big week. To Ricky's point about Flavien Prat, Irad's the one that he could take mounts away from. I think he is the one that's in danger of that. So with that in mind, that is a little scary, but I think Irad's going to win a lot of races before we even get to Saturday. Rosario, I picked just to make Samich mad. Santana under 5.5. I just feel like it's not as much as I love Ricardo. I don't think it's a Ricardo at Saratoga type of week. Velasquez over 3.5. I love that Gamin's coming in, and I think he can scrounge around and win 3 more. David Cohen, man, this is my guy. Listen, I met David Cohen once, super nice to me. He actually said, thanks for doing what you do on Racing Dudes. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe he even heard of me. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he just saw my shirt and he wanted to be nice to me. I don't know, but he's my guy ever since then. I had a beer with him at Crosswalks in Hot Springs, Arkansas. You telling me he can't win 1 race in 5 days at Saratoga? Oh, he can. He definitely can, and that'll bring us home. And I could lose these other 4, but as long as Cohen wins, Ricky loses.
Just get her done, David. Get her done. We got Dennis chiming in here with his team. He's taking TGAF, the under minus 130. I actually really like that. I thought you both might take the under on Gaffleone, especially if you're fading Maker. Going over on Rosario, meh. Going over on Castellano. I was surprised no one took the over there. He's not getting as many mounts, but he seemed to be riding pretty well the last couple weekends. Over on Davis, so against Ricky there, and taking that Cohen price because of that Diodoro Magic. So I think that's a good choice as well. Yeah, this is fun, guys. Thank you for letting me do this and having a little good time here with the jockey standings. And I think, Aaron, you're going to throw this up on Racing Dudes Twitter too. So if anyone wants to post who they like, feel free to throw it under there.
Yes, whenever we're done here, I will post this up on our Twitter feed. And yeah, you guys chime in with who you would take. And yeah, I mean, this is a lot of fun. I looked at this for way too long last night. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. I was looking at it because I just want Ricky to say 15 words or less for one show. I mean, that would just be amazing. So I really studied hard on this. But yeah, I'm very excited for what's going to happen here. This is such a fun week at Saratoga, and this just adds one more fun element to it.
Awesome. Well, I will kick it back. I will relinquish my host duties here of this game show / gambling show, and I'll throw it back to you, Aaron. I don't know if you want what else you'd like to cover here, but take it away.
Well, yeah, guys, let's just talk real quick about the Travers coming up here. This is going to be a lot of fun, right? Let's do this. Let's talk Travers and then let's talk NHC because we do have a guy going to the NHC, and I listed the Magic Mike show, and I want to talk about a little bit of that with you, Samich. But I'll kick it to Ricky first since it's been a while, I think, since Ricky said anything. Travers, it's basically Essential Quality or somebody else. That's kind of the question. If I would give you even odds on you get Essential Quality or you get the entire field, what would you take?
I'd probably have to take the even money, to be quite honest. I just that your first part of the question was the one that really struck a nerve or got to me. Who else, right? That you got to ask yourself. Some people are just allergic to playing chalk. I don't know why. That sometimes the best horse has the shortest price. I mean, that's just the way that it is. I think you also ask yourself, if you were to get essential quality at even money, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be pretty happy with that. So unless there's a horse that's entered that we don't, that I don't know about, who are we looking at to beat him? Like Dynamic One? Like, I'm not thrilled. Maybe you guys have a better second choice. I don't have one. I would probably say it's the Dynamic One at this point. So I don't know. I would take that even money, and I'd probably run for the hills with it, because I don't think we'd be getting that. I'm interested to see what you guys think, though.
What about you, Samich? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm. Look, I agree with Ricky, man. When you look at this field, it's like it leaves you something to be desired. I think it's that simple. I think the second best horse is clearly Midnight Bourbon from a just on paper perspective. I think he also will sit a close trip at the distance, which I think is definitely something that could be a positive there. So I think Midnight Bourbon close to the pace or on the lead is going to be the main threat to Essential Quality. But do I think Midnight Bourbon's better than Essential Quality? No. And like I bet Midnight Bourbon's ready with a big race. Let's put it that way, because he is coming off a layoff. Asmussen usually gets these horses ready. I do think he'll run big. And then you have one unknown really in Miles D, who lost to Dynamic One in the Curlin, but this is third off a layoff for Brown for an improving horse. So I guess you could make a case there, but like I want no part of King Fury. I want no part of Keep Me in Mind. I want no part of Dynamic One. I want no part of Mass Parade. Like, to me, it's really, there's three horses that you could show some interest in, if in my personal opinion, and I'm pretty sure I know who the best of those three horses is. So I would take the even money, and I'm probably going to play a Cold Exacta pretty heavy in that race with Essential Quality over Midnight Bourbon.
I don't like Midnight Bourbon. He's had so many chances, right?
Likes running second.
I think. That's true. I think Miles D is interesting as a big price. I don't love him to win. I think Miles D maybe can hit the board and kind of be that horse. Listen, I'm taking Essential Quality as well. I'm not getting cute with this race. These horses just aren't very good, and he is very good. So I think that's where I'm going to end it with that. Samich, let's talk NHC. You leave tomorrow. I heard on the Magic Mike show being Wednesday. You leave Wednesday. And then I heard that this is awesome, by the way. Your dad is going to get to play in the first chance, last chance, whatever it's called. Somebody gave him an entry. That's freaking fantastic. Even if he doesn't get qualified, just having him there is going to be a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. He's seen me kind of get into the tournaments over the last year and a half or so, and he was the reason I got into handicapping. I mean, that was how my dad and I bonded. You've met him at the track before. He has a great time doing it. Yeah. And he's already jacked up about it. He's printed out the forms yesterday. He started to do his handicapping. I emailed him the rules, and he immediately FaceTimes me and wants to talk through strategy around the rules. He's getting in at 11 o'clock tomorrow. I get in at like 9, so I'll meet him at the airport, and I have a feeling Wednesday is going to be talking a lot about who we're going to play on Thursday and how we're going to try and strategize on Thursday. And man, it would be amazing if he qualifies for Friday and is able to play the 2-day NHC with me. But even if he doesn't, I mean, Magic was in this room last year. Last year was the first time I was in the NHC room. It is electric. I mean, even if you just go to Vegas for that weekend, it is so much fun to be in that room with 600 horse players who are all screaming during every mandatory race for their horse. Half the room has this horse, another half has this horse. You have 13 races that go off Saturday between 2 and 3 o'clock. It's going to be absolute bedlam. So I can't wait to be out there again. It's a really cool environment, and the community is really cool. Like, someone literally just texted me and said, "Hey, I can't make it. Do you want this free $500 entry?" Where does that happen, man? That's just awesome. Yeah. So it was someone that I've met a couple times, 2 days down in Florida and then another day at Keeneland, and we text back and forth, and he's just a very cool gesture. So can't wait to get down there. Can't wait to play a tournament.
Yeah, the horse racing community is just fantastic. Some of the best people I've ever met. I've been through this game. Two people right on the screen right here. I mean, it's just living proof of that. Listen, if Papa Samich gets, and I don't know if the list, you can bet individual entries to win the NHC. If your dad gets in, I'm betting him to win that thing. That's that. I'm going to back him to win that thing.
I'm going to be interested to see if they get the first chance, last chance people on the board, because they have a full big board that goes up. I was
They do.
$170?
They do. I can confirm they do because I bet a friend of mine that won the first chance or the last second tournament once. Yeah,
Nice.
they do. They'll put
Okay.
them on the board. Yeah.
I would love, and I wish, like, I realize you can't bet exactas, but man, it would be fun to bet exacta M Samich over M Samich in the NHC. I have the $5 ticket still from last year. It's just fun to have your name on a big gambling board. You get the big sheets in Vegas with all the odds. It's fun to be up there.
Yeah.
I was 175 to 1 last year. I'll be interested to see what the line is this year.
Yeah, I'm going Papa Samich, and I'll bet Marshall Graham again. I always bet him. But listen, if your dad doesn't qualify, I'll bet you. But if he does qualify, you're out. I'm going to bet him.
I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. Yeah, Marshall is he's a stud, man. He won BCBC. You were about one tournament too early on betting him, and if he wins NHC, he gets a $3 million bonus. And I was on a podcast for In the Money. It's an NHC podcast with Peter Thomas Fortel. And Marshall Graham was one of those people on there. And he's like, yeah, the bonus is going to completely change my strategy. I'm just playing big numbers the whole time because first place, like normally it pays $800,000 and second place pays, I think, $500,000. Yep. Now it pays $3.8 million for him. So in second place is $500,000. So it's win or bust when you got that kind of money on the line.
I got to back him. It's so mad. Yeah, I backed him. I bet him at last NHC. And, of course, the odds are astronomical. And he sucked. He lost. And then he wins the BCBC. I'm like, oh, my God. I knew this guy had it in him. Oh, that would have been awesome. But, oh, well, that's how it is. Ricky, good news for you. You're not going to go to the NHC. You're going to see me in 2 days. I mean, we're about 48 hours away now, Ricky. Are you excited?
Yeah, I've probably been, before I make the statement, Samich, how long have you been going to Saratoga for? Like your whole life, not this year, obviously, just.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in 1983, and my first trip to the track was August 1983. I was about 2 months old when I went to the track for the first time.
Right, okay, so, you know what it's like to be going your whole life. Aaron definitely got into the game much older than me and just, started later, and that doesn't make it better or worse. I'm just making the point. I've been going to the track, well, not that I remember, but let's say for what I remember, for 20 years. I was born in June. I went that first summer as well, 1996. So I'm 25. Never been to a Travers. Now,
what?
I've never been to a Travers. Never been.
Can I give you a quick pro tip? They replay.
Give Aaron the pro tip because whatever he's doing, I'm doing. So you might want to give it to both of them.
So they replay. So first off, if you want to rush for tables, it's absolutely awesome. But if you don't want to do that, they have a buffet starting at like 7 o'clock where you can watch the workouts morning of the Travers. And so it's a breakfast buffet. It's absolutely awesome. Totally recommend it. Around 10 o'clock, they show every single Travers replay through the whole thing that they have on tape. So you get to sit there and watch every Travers back to back to back in the morning. It's one of the cool parts about going and rushing for tables is that you get to go to breakfast afterward and then watch all these Travers, gets you pumped up for the day if you don't end up sleeping on a picnic table. So make sure you go check that out because it's a fun tradition over there at Saratoga.
Well,
I'm in. That sounds fun.
I'll point to him. If he's into it, then I'll do it. So, leading back, again, I've never been. I'm sure this is going to be one of the worst ones over the last 20 years, because I don't remember before that. So let's say since like 2000 in terms of the field, but I'm still just so excited to see Essential Quality and the whole day as well. It's going to be a massive, massive card. Again, I've never been. I am curious to see if COVID still has something to do with it, because the track has definitely been a lot less crowded than it has been in years past, whether people want to believe it or not. It just doesn't seem like it's quite the same. And I get people's, personal stuff with COVID going on. So I'm interested to see that as well. From everything that everyone's told me, like you can't walk, you can't move. Everyone's on top of each other. So I'm interested to see what that is like as well. Everyone's just not being, just everyone's on top of each other. So I'm just so excited to see it. The weather's supposed to be good, supposed to be nice this week as well. Aaron's coming in early on Thursday and leaving late on Sunday. So that was a surprise as well. It was a quick turnaround a couple weeks ago. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. If anyone's up there, I currently don't own a Racing Dudes golf shirt. We are still working on that. Look for 2 people with a Racing Dudes golf shirt. I'll be attached to the hip, and then maybe we can get drinks or something. Or maybe I'll just walk around with this hat all day. It's going to be a great weekend overall, and I can't wait to get to my first one again because I've never been before.
The big thing, if you want to hang out for any amount of time, we will be at the Paddock Bar most likely. So come over there. We've met so many people over there last time and the time before. So definitely come over there if you want to hang out. That's where we'll be. And listen, everybody knows you, Ricky. You don't need a shirt. They know that face. It's a face you can't miss. So
well, and if you want Aaron to remember you, make sure you're at the Paddock Bar by like 4:00. That's especially if he shows up at the track at 7 a.m. for breakfast.
More than fair. I got a friend now. He's a bartender at that Paddock Bar, and we kind of know each other now, so it's even better. Like I don't even have to really order. At least by the time I'd left last time, I'm sure he's forgotten me since Whitney Day, but hopefully not. He's my buddy. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's the greatest place, Mike. You know that as well. Hell, you're up there a month. Had to be awesome. So yeah, it's gonna be good. Good time. Okay, as far as today goes, I think we're going to wrap it up. Program alert here in, let's see, less than 40 minutes, 38 minutes away from the Dudes Who Bet Sports podcast number 3. We're going to go the over-under, so we're going to keep the over-under theme of the NFL teams, all 32 NFL teams. And guess what? There's college football this weekend, boys. Nebraska at Illinois, Hawaii at UCLA. Papa Dude and I are going to cover those 2 games as well. So we've got a big-time show coming up. 11:30. Make sure to check that out. We'll be right back here at the Rocket Hour tomorrow at its normal time, covering that late pick 4 at Saratoga. Magic Mike. Oh, no Samich this week, right? You'll be at NHC, but Magic Mike will be here Thursday covering the late pick 4 at Saratoga on Saturday. Ricky, no show for us Thursday. Or no, you're going to do a little show, right, on Thursday?
Yeah, I haven't figured it out. I know you're definitely not, so we can take you off. I will probably have a better idea tomorrow at some point. The goal is to still pick you up from the airport, obviously. So
yeah,
I can't do the Rocket Hour at 11 and pick you up unless I put on my jetpack and fly there. So
it's called the Rocket Hour. I mean,
that's right.
Well, let's just say if I have a jetpack, I'll have so much money that I'll fly Aaron myself personally to Albany, and you don't have to. I'll drop you off in Saratoga Springs somewhere. Just drop you over the track. So we might have to start it at 10 a.m. or something like that, or 10:30 maybe. So we'll try to figure that out as well. There will not be a Rocket Hour on Friday because I probably will be kicked off. So I'm just letting probably put blinkers off. So
I think blinkers off will do Thursday as long as the travel goes smoothly, because we're going to get in pretty early Thursday. I think we're going to knock that out actually on Thursday. So there may be a Rocket Hour Friday, or it may be blinkers off. There'll be something Friday. Let's put it that way. Lots to look forward to. NHC, good luck, Samich, with that. That's going to be fun. I hope your dad qualifies.
How do I bet on Samich? Well, is there a website to these odds?
I'm guessing you're gonna have to Venmo me money and I have to put the ticket in.
Yep.
I think that's what we did last year. Magic was I had my hype man last year run all that, so I didn't have to worry about it. I think there was like a $400 ticket for me to win, $400 or $500 at 175 to 1. So Magic was walking around with a 77,000 or something payout, and was so nervous about losing that thing.
How do we even get odds on this? By the way, like not we as in us 3, but like how do they make odds? Like how is that possible? How do they?
Valley Sportsbook does it, and you have leaderboards. So like you have rankings for their top 100 in the world and that kind of thing, and you also have rankings for the last 4 years. So I think they generally take that and then just skew it. Like I'm guessing I'm not 175 this year because I'm now ranked pretty highly in both of those polls. So I think I'll end up being like 75 to 1 or something.
That's why I got to bet your dad. That's where the value's at.
I don't know what they do if they see 2 M Samiches. I don't know how they line it, man. They might throw them in with me and screw it over.
See, well, you're a coupled entry. You're just a coupled entry.
Yeah, 1 and 1A.
If you guys are coupled, I'm out. I'm not. You better scratch one of them so we get better odds.
First money only, baby.
Scratch yourself so we can just put on. Is there a way could view odds? But seriously, is there a way that people could view odds like beforehand, or you have to be on site?
So I think I posted on Twitter the page last year. Like it's literally like, like when it's like odds to win the NFL MVP and they have all the names and the plus money. There's 2 sheets that come out at NHC each year with all the odds of every player.
I got it. Yeah. So not for me, for everyone. Yeah. Make sure you tweet that out as well so we can follow it along. What is it? Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday?
Friday, Saturday is the qualifying rounds. Top 10% move on to Sunday. morning, and then top 10 move on to the final table Sunday afternoon. And winner gets it's $3 million worth of prizes. I think winner's $800,000 this year.
Wow. Well, good luck again. We'll be rooting for you. If there are 3 random people on Sunday afternoon screaming when there's no race going on, it's probably us rooting.
If I'm in the lead after Saturday, I expect all of you to fly to Vegas.
I'll be really honest with you. I'm not going to keep up with this at all. You're going to have to text me your standings. I'm not going to care about this once I get to Saratoga.
No. I'll keep up with it. How about this, Samich? If you are in the lead, like number one, not tied, whatever. If you are in the lead, I will single-handedly find a flight from Albany to Vegas.
I was going to say, if you're going to drive, you're going to miss the whole afternoon.
No. I'm not I will listen. I'll find a way I will drive to Albany, leave my car, and I will fly to Vegas.
Here's the beauty, Ricky. If I'm in the lead after Saturday, Aaron's going to be so drunk that he'll say he's going to fly out too.
That's true. I'll go. I'll just call Heather and say, look, I'm going to be a couple days longer. Yeah. Because it's not you, it's Papa Samich. He's ahead, and I got a $100,000 ticket to cash.
Well, I might even get us a private flight if I just find the company card somewhere.
There you go.
And then
that's the other factor. The company card will be present, and if I've had a few things to drink, I'll be real loose with that company card. We may get a private flight. I mean,
we'll invite Andy Serling with us too. Maybe he'll take the day off, and we can all visit Samich on Sunday afternoon in Vegas.
Andy Serling gets a bad rap, man. That guy, he's out at Saratoga. I see him every time I go out in Saratoga. I see Andy Serling, and I'll give him credit for that. I love that. He's got to work the next day, and he's out till midnight. That's great. I like that. Reminds me of us.
He's probably put up some shit too. There's some people that I'm sure that some people, once they have a couple cocktails in them, say some stuff that is not appropriate to him at all. So that's got to be a whole nother thing to deal with.
Yeah, I'll give him credit. He's I think he has a persona online and on the show that's not really truly him. I think he's a pretty nice guy, actually.
Yeah, I'm with you. Forget about him asking the kid if he wanted an autograph. It's another conversation for another time. Never heard anything so egregious in my life.
That was bad.
But what I will say, and I'll agree with Halterman here, we try to make it fun and go at each other because I think that's part of the sport. But there are too many people that are so dull. He's one of the few people that are not. And he is very much a TV personality in a way. You might not like what he says, but it is controversial. And it gets you thinking. If someone's just telling you something and pointing out facts or stats, that doesn't get your mind going. It doesn't get you invigorated at all. When him and Tom Amos go at it, the fact that people think they're serious is even funnier. So I think it's all part of the game, all part of the joke, all part of the persona. And again, it's okay to be wrong in this sport. They're horses at the end of the day. They're animals. We have no idea what's going on. And I think he does a really, really good job of getting people to think maybe a different way, maybe not the right way, but think a different way that some people might not have brought up before. So he owes the Beal a lot. Yeah. I can't, I'm not going to touch on the comment. I'm just going to smile.
The big A. He's all right. Okay, that's it. I got to get ready for this sports show. Coming up 30 minutes, like I said, Dudes Who Bet number 3. I'm here at the Papa Dude Castle right now doing this live, and then we'll be together here in a second. So gonna be a lot of fun, guys. Samich, thanks for coming on, and good luck again. Like I said, safe travels tomorrow. Ricky, thank you as always for being here, and listen, safe travels on Thursday. I'm counting on you. So
well, you're not counting on me. You can get to Saratoga regardless. It's just a matter of, does it save you like $20-$30?
Like I said, I'm counting on you. That's $20 or $30 that could be put towards a flight to Vegas if either one of the Samiches are in front going into Sunday. So
that's true.
It's big time.
I just want a proper line. I hope the less experienced Samich brings the line higher as opposed to the more experienced Samich dragging down the line. So I guess we'll have to find out when the official Bally Sportsbook odds come out. We'll have to see what happens. I am interested, by the way, if you guys follow other people, you don't have to just follow us. Take a look at the odds and see if you recognize names, because I'm sure you will. So
for sure. Yeah,
I think that's an interesting point as well. Just go through. You don't have to make bets. Just see, oh, I recognize this person, I don't, how they're doing. It's fun to, if you're not a part of it, just to kind of keep up with it as well. So
yep, no doubt about it. It's always fun. I was following Sandwich pretty hardcore that one time. I guess that was 2 years ago now. Wow. And Magic would text me about 5 o'clock and say, well, he's done. And then he texted me at 7 and say, he's on to the next round. I'm like, you jackass. So finally I just started following on my own. So anyway.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Good luck if anybody's playing today. Park's got a pretty nice card, so good luck if you're doing that. If not, join us right back here tomorrow, 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern. Saratoga is back. So good luck, everybody, today, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.